You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast.
5 million in space.
This
Let's go.
is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the Windy City Bender podcast, episode 112. Thank you for the reminder on that one, Tanner. I would have totally fucked that up.
So what's up?
I'm trying to think how I want to start this because it's like we've had a week. It'll be almost when this comes out. It'll be a week since free agency started. We've had a week of sitting on the news that Crawford wasn't coming back to Chicago. I know our group chat was buzzing when that news came out and the kind of direction that was being talked about where the Hawks were going. And as much as I kind of wanted to record early to kind of like get that true emotion, I'm kind of glad we kind of sat on it a little bit. But what I'm thinking is that while I have kind of looked a little bit more at the bigger picture, I'm still not fucking happy.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like super upset about it.
No, but
I get it, but I think it's kind of shitty with they had the offer and then there was no conversation and it's like, okay, we're going in a different direction. It's like, oh, dope, dude.
And we're going to get into it because I think we're going to touch really quickly on some NHL free agency because as much as we are hockey fans and we are trying to be like a hockey report on all hockey, this in essence is a Chicago Blackhawks podcast. So we have a lot to talk about. And if this was December, I would call this our Festivus episode because there's a lot of grievances to put out there against this organization. But it's October, so we're just going to say welcome to hell.
Hey, episode 112, welcome to hell.
But yeah, so we'll get into that, but we're going to touch really quickly on some of the NHL moves that happened because it was a very strange free agency this year with the circumstances of COVID and the short season and a flat cap for the next couple of years. And it really showed these teams having to be creative of what they were doing. Not a lot of long-term contracts. I can only tell you maybe two. I can only tell you two off the top of my head that were long-term.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, so it was a lot of 1-2 year deals. Not a lot of money being spent. Players actually being fairly reasonable what they were asking for.
Players getting dealt for like nothing.
Yeah, which goes back to the Hawks, but we will.
I mean, it applies to other teams as well, but
yeah.
It's just because of the way everything's gotten fucked up, you know, like the whole flat cap really kind of screwed everything up a bit. And it kind of worked out in some teams' favor where they're like, hey, we got cap space.
Yeah.
See you, like the Devils. Hey, Columbus, I see you're looking to get some cap space. How about a third for Ryan Murray, you know, a former first rounder? Like, and they're like, yeah, for sure. Go for it, man. I don't fucking care.
Honestly, like, the teams that I felt won this free agency were the teams that I wasn't expecting to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like New Jersey got better. I feel like Ottawa got a hell of a lot better. Detroit, they didn't do too bad. Detroit did, like, their pickups, while not sexy or fancy or anything by all means, but they got guys that if they turn it up and they have a good season, they are going to get assets back for them at the trade deadline. They're all guys that can get dealt and they can bring in a couple picks or something like that.
I forgot that they picked up Bobby Ryan.
Yeah.
Damn. I love Bobby Ryan. Yeah, they they kind of got some names that are like sexy like 7 years ago.
I was going to say they have a fantastic 2013 hockey team now.
Well, I mean, just a few. Like, Filppula, who's been on there for like forever, but they picked up Bobby Ryan, and then they also picked up. Well, they got Thomas Greiss too, who's just solid.
Yeah, that was a good.
What was the other one? Oh, Sam Gagner is like another player that it's like. I don't know if you guys remember, but he had 8 points against the Blackhawks, and that's when they were winning Stanley Cups.
Yep. I had somebody else that I was like actually surprised. I was like, oh, that's not a bad pickup. I mean, they trade
Nemesnikov.
Yeah, him not bad. They traded for Stahl earlier in the playoffs. So it's like
yeah, that's right. for like no picks.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to be great, but I mean they're not going to be bad either.
They're just kind of getting guys that have played NHL hockey that'll be able to be out there trying to support the guys they're trying to grow.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Detroit, I will never compliment you very much, but not a bad offseason. Not a bad.
Hey man, I miss Detroit.
I miss having that team that just irrationally, or no, not even irrationally, rationally hate every time we play them. Like the Hawks really don't have that anymore.
Not with Detroit.
St. Louis, but no, yeah, maybe St. Louis. But I mean, there hasn't been a team that I was like, I see on the schedule, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck those guys. Like
True.
St. Louis is the only closest maybe.
Like I would want, if it was still a Detroit rivalry, I would want to go to Detroit and like see a Hawks game there and be like, fuck yeah. But like, I don't want to go to St. Louis.
No. Dude, that Detroit Stadium is fucking nice.
The Little Caesars Pizzarina?
Yeah, it is so nice. I got a little behind the scenes look at it. It is filthy.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a shame that a fucking minor league hockey team plays out of there.
That's all right.
But anyway, so there were some. We talked about some of the lower end teams, but there were some big names that were signed. I think the biggest one that everybody was kind of looking out for to see what they were going to do and ended up being the biggest shocker of them all was Taylor Hall. 1 year, $8 million for fucking Buffalo.
Yeah, right.
Let's go Buffalo.
This is the kind of thing that I absolutely love to see though in the offseason, because I think if you were to ask like any analyst, they'd be like, Taylor Hall's going to go to like these teams and these teams should be going after Taylor Hall. And I'm sure like Hall and Buffalo are nowhere in the conversation of each other, but it's like they don't take into the fact that like the players like have their own kind of mindset, man. Like they're just not going to be like, oh, this makes the most sense because of like on paper, it makes the most sense. But like, I think for Taylor Hall, it makes great sense. Like a 1 year deal for $8 million. So
prove it. He's getting paid.
Yeah. He's getting paid. He's getting to play with Jack Eichel, who I think they'll be a great pair. Like, I think Olofsson is going to be maybe like the right wing that's projected to be on their line. Who I don't know if you remember, but like last year, I think he was a rookie and started this season with like 7 power play goals.
Yeah, he
it was like a crazy record. But yeah, like that can be pretty sick. And then they also got Eric Stahl.
Yeah,
and Eric Stahl's not bad. Like he was probably one of the better players on Minnesota.
He can still produce.
Yeah.
Then you got the back end. You got Dahlin.
Yeah, you got Dahlin, and they still have Rasmus Ristolainen, who I think every season is just like, I'm going to be playing hockey somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
not sure where.
Playing hockey.
It's always in conversations that he's going to get traded, and then they're like, nah, we'll hold on to him. He's also statistically, like advanced stats, like a really bad defender.
Yeah,
it's really funny. I've loved like glancing at advanced stats every once in a while, and I'll come across something at least once a year where it's like Rasmus Ristolainen has awful advanced stats. It's like, yes, that makes sense.
They also picked up Cody Eakin.
True. That's a good depth signing.
Cody Eakin, Jeff Skinner, who is way overpaid for what
he's making more than Taylor Hall.
Yeah, $9 million.
See, the other thing that's good about his deal too is that it's very movable. If he would, I imagine, because nobody wants to play in Buffalo when they're actually there.
Yeah.
But he said like in his like letter that all the players like want Buffalo to be good, and I just like as Buffalo's where like players go to die. So like at the trade deadline, if he has a change of heart and he's like, "Yo, fuck this place, trade me," like, guess what? He kind of gets the pick of like a contender at that point. You know,
it's just it was definitely that like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You give me an $8 million contract. I possibly bring you a couple first round picks and some good prospects at the deadline. Worst comes to worst. But he wrote that little letter to Buffalo fans, kind of explaining his decision and talking about Ralph Kruger, the head coach, and how much he respected him and all that kind of stuff. And he almost kind of wondered what his career would have been like if he got another coach longer than one season in Edmonton. So it'll be really interesting to see how that works out and gels. I mean, when it first got announced that he signed there, I think my first text to you guys was like, Buffalo, are you fucking kidding me? And then you kind of like you guys, you like what you just said, you were explaining it, and I'm like, they could be a sneaky team. Like,
yeah,
especially if these divisions get realigned this year for like Geo and all that kind of stuff, they might be able to get an advantage a little bit and sneak into a wild card spot, depending on how they do. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to go with the 16 teams format again. But
they would be in one of the toughest divisions.
Yeah,
if anything.
Sure. New York,
both New York teams, Boston,
New Jersey,
Philly,
Washington.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that would be tough.
It would be a really tough division.
But I mean, they got the shot to do it.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, like the big names were Pietrangelo and Krug, and they were both kind of like, where are we going to go? And then Krug's like, stole your seat. I think that was very surprising. And I think Pietrangelo said it was surprising too, because I think they were still talking. And then it was just like out of nowhere, he's like, oh, okay.
God, I always forget the player's name that he ran over in the Cup final.
Oh, Krug?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Robert Thomas.
Yeah, and Robert Thomas tweets out the picture of him just getting well, and he goes, "Did we just become best friends?" And Krug replies with the John C. Reilly skit from Step Brothers. Yep.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Like, I mean, that's a good fit. I think he'll be a good fit on that team. I don't like that we're gonna have to face him multiple.
I don't think he's gonna be as big of a piece as Pietrangelo was.
No.
Because Pietrangelo was the two-way. Like, he's going to be everywhere at all times, and I think Krug's more offensive.
100%, yeah.
But I don't know. Like, that's why St. Louis went out and got Justin Falk last year, and he's pretty offensive too. And they have Colton Parayko, who's kind of a two-way.
Yeah, them losing Pietrangelo is going to be really...
Yeah,
really
Pietrangelo. Yeah, so then Pietrangelo ends up going to Vegas and literally just take the Krug, like, haha, stole your seat. Pietrangelo just looked over at Schmidt and goes, hey, you sitting here? Not anymore, and just shoves him out of the way. And now Nate Schmidt's over in fucking Vancouver just like, the fuck happened?
For a third-round pick, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to get rid of Cap, but, like,
yeah, that's what happens. I'm surprised that Vancouver was like, we'll give you a third. I would have been like, yeah, fuck that, dude. Here's 2 7s.
What kills me is that even after all these big signings that this team does, Vegas does, they're still only like, what, $1 million, not even $1 million over the salary cap?
Yeah, they're still over. And they're claiming that they're going to keep both goalies because Lehner just underwent surgery. Yeah. And dude, they're less than $1 million over, 974,000.
So there's 2 guys, Nicholas Roy and Cody Glass, right there. Boom, that they're under. If they move those guys down, they have.
No, they just like move on from just somebody.
Yeah, I mean they got guys to move and all that. They have so many fucking guys. Like their team, like God. Fuck Vegas, like.
Yeah, right. And like the thing too is they have a lot of picks, so like they could just move a guy in a pick, like for future considerations. You know, like hey, here's a 4th and a 5th or whatever, and like take this guy off our hands. You know, just like a Mark Stahl situation with Detroit.
They still have all their first-round picks for the next 3 years. Yep. They have all their second-round picks for the next 3 years. They have New Jersey's second pick next year. They don't have a third. They have Winnipeg's 4th, Carolina's 5th, and then their own picks in the 6th and 7th next year. Like, how – like, I'm just blown away that how they did this. Like –
Yep. Yeah, I don't know.
It makes me really excited to see what Seattle does. Like – and how the teams like counteract with it. I know we've talked about this a couple times and all that, but it's like just seeing how Vegas just totally played everybody. I'm very curious to see how teams change, which
Yeah, if they react the same or if they react differently.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
So other big free agency news was the goalie carousel.
Yeah, goalies on the move.
So here you go, Tanner. I'll let you take that one over.
I loved it. It was so much fun. I mean, we all knew that Henrik Lundqvist was going to Washington, so that was like the first deal that was signed, like day one of free agency. And then we just kind of followed the carousel around. So Holtby went from Washington to Vancouver, and I'm not sure if he's kind of going to be doing a 1A, 1B with Demko, or if he's going to be taking more of the load and like slowly let Demko take over.
I can see him doing like a 60, maybe start like a 30-70 and slowly move it down as the season goes on, and maybe next year do it like a 50-50.
Yeah, I think like with the way that Demko played in the playoffs, he definitely deserves a lot more playing time. But I think they don't want him to like just get completely blown up if he's starting role right away.
You mean a team is looking out for a young goalie that has potential by bringing in a veteran to kind of help him learn what to do? Wow,
yeah, I don't
what
know
a concept!
So then he's replacing Jacob Markstrom, who's going to Calgary. And now Markstrom is then going to take over for who it was Cam Talbot. And then Cam Talbot, he went to Minnesota. And Minnesota had just traded Devin Dubnyk to San Jose. And then San Jose didn't re-sign Aaron Dell. So Aaron Dell just took off and went to Toronto. So there's a lot of goalies moving around.
And Crawford signed with New Jersey.
And then Schneider is not signed right now?
Not yet, but he's going to be signing a league minimum. It's rumored he's going to sign a league minimum with the Islanders.
Yeah. Watch him be really good there just because of Trotz.
Yeah.
I mean, a Varlamov and Schneider, like, tandem. Talk about scary 5-10 years ago.
Right. Is it going to be the best idea or the worst idea?
Yeah. I think that's it for like bigger names, right? Hudobin re-signed in Dallas. Matt Murray inked his deal for Ottawa.
Which was just fucking stupid. What was like?
Our possible starter is only making less than $1 million, so
I know.
What's up?
It's just ridiculous how much money they threw at like Matt Murray. Like,
oh yeah. He got the highest deal out of every goalie during free agency.
And more than Markstrom?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's 6'2", and Markstrom is 6. So sucks to suck. I mean, that's what 2 cups gets you, and then also, I don't know, threatening to just walk after your restricted free agency ends. I think we were talking about that in our group chat. I was like, the only way that like they're gonna get Matt Murray on like more years than like 2 that he wants to reach like a UFA status is they'd have to like overpay, and if they didn't overpay, then he would take them to arbitration. Then he gets a deal for like 1 year or whatever, and then he's a UFA after that, and he's like, "See ya, Ottawa."
And Ottawa had the money to throw at them, so they won't regret it at all, I'm sure.
Jesus. Well, and then the only other things for like free agency that are kind of funny is Patty Marleau just making his way back to San Jose. And if you get a second, I won't spoil it for you, but go ahead and go to Cap Friendly and go to Patrick Marleau's page and see his lifetime earnings.
This is stupid.
He's basically on a league min contract, so he's basically playing for free and just for the shits and giggles. Like, honestly, he should have just stayed in Carolina instead of being bought out.
Yeah, like they have the greatest scam. San Jose and Marleau have the greatest scam going. Mm-hmm. Sign a 1-year deal, cheap deal, get traded at the deadline, get a couple picks for him, try to win your cup. Oh, it doesn't work? We'll try it again. Come on back.
Yeah. Guess who's got the checkbook open? Yeah. It says $700,000 right here.
Yeah.
All we gotta do is put your name.
It just says July 1st and then like 20 and then just fill it in every year. Like,
It's already pre-printed. He's got a stack of them. It's fantastic.
Well, what is cool, it kind of came out. I didn't realize that he's 44. If he plays 45 games, or is he
45? I think.
Yeah, and he breaks Gordie Howe's all-time games played record.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Which is kind of crazy. I knew he's been around a while. I did not think, especially since Gordie Howe played fucking forever.
It's true.
But and then Marlowe's little buddy, little buddy, Jumbo Joe, signs a, if you want to call it a contract. I mean, he's literally playing for free. Not like Marlowe's getting paid. Joe Thornton's not getting paid.
Yeah, but Joe Thornton's not playing in the NHL right now.
Joe Thornton signed with the team in the Swiss league, and basically playing for free. He doesn't count against their imports because he has a Swiss passport. So he's like just living up in Switzerland until the NHL figures out what the hell they're doing. Then he'll come sign probably a leagueman who has been talked that he's going to go to Toronto.
Yeah, and cool.
Oh my God, was it Noli that sent that picture of like the Walmart discount like movie?
It's the bargain bin.
Yeah, the bargain bin, and it's just Dubas's face, and it's just like Spessa 700. Like, oh my God, that was so funny.
Yeah, they picked the bargain bin pretty clean in free agency of veteran players.
And Jimmy Vesey.
Yes, that's true. Remember when Jimmy Vesey was like, like the hottest thing in town, coming out of his college years, and he's a free agent, and everybody's like, "Oh, we gotta sign him." And
I remember.
He goes to Broadway, and they're like, "Cool."
Yeah, he was supposed to, like, Chicago was on his list, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. Any winners or losers in your mind for free agency?
Buffalo.
For winner or loser?
For winning. They got Taylor Hall. I mean, that was like the main piece. I don't know how, but Vegas wins. Because like they still got to do something about this, like, cap. Like, I don't know. Losers. Anybody that didn't really do shit.
Yeah, big tickets.
Yeah.
Players' bank accounts that should have gotten paid this year.
Yeah.
But
is Mike Hoffman? Mike Hoffman's not signed yet.
He's not signed yet, but I think he's going to re-sign in Florida now because Ottawa signed. What's his name?
Dadonov.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now that opens up a forward.
Yeah. Well, here's some notable free agents that are out there right now: Michael Granlund, Mike Hoffman, Alex Galchenyuk. I don't know if anybody's going to be tempted by that. Sammy Vatanen.
He's going
Soderberg.
He's going to arbitration. No, not Vatanen. Who's going on?
What? These are all UFAs.
Yeah.
Andreas Athanasiou. I'm surprised nobody's picked him up. Probably just because he's fast and that's it.
Chara.
Oh, yeah, Chara.
Duclair.
Yeah, wow. It's still surprising. But, yeah, there's plenty of teams that have cap space.
These are all guys that you can get for, like, $1 million.
Well, with the way that the signings have gone, too, like, they can't really ask for much more than, like, some of what these other guys got. Like, nobody's getting big deals.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did Dadonov do this year? Jesus. 47 points, and he got signed $5 million. I don't think anybody has anywhere close to that. Whatever. All right. Let's move on.
Oh, all right. Main event time.
Oh, yeah.
How do you want to start this? Because it's like, the more I'm thinking about it, like, I thought I calmed down. I was going to be a little rational about it. Now I'm, like, opening old wounds, and I'm just...
Well, let's start with what happened first. Crawford was not brought back.
Yes. So last Thursday it came out that Stan Bowman had an emotional conversation with Corey Crawford, and that they are not going to be offering him a new contract, and that his days as a Chicago Blackhawk are effectively over.
Yeah.
So first off, not surprised. I'm not surprised Crawford's not coming back. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world not to bring him back just because of his age, his injury history,
Yep.
and all that kind of stuff.
Well, the other part of it too is with the way the cap is like another deal too. I think during the season, we all kept saying it was like you offer him like $3 to $4 million. And if he says no, you let him walk.
Yeah.
Like that's what we fucking did. And so I wasn't surprised. We literally said this like this time last year.
Yeah.
It's like.
But here's the thing, though, too. He ended up signing for $3.9 million over 2 years.
Yeah.
So the alleged offer from Bowman was 1 year, 3.5.
Yes.
According to, I don't know if it was actually Crawford that said this or someone else said it.
I think it was Crawford.
That after their initial offer was made, there was no further negotiation. Bowman never checked in. Bowman never. Hey, what are you thinking? It was the offer was made. Take it or leave it. I'm not listening to what you have to say. Fuck you. I mean, first off, like this goalie, this was your goalie for 13 years. He's won you
2 cups.
Yeah, 2 cups. You don't get like at least a return.
President's Trophy.
Yeah, like you don't get a return. Like, hey,
he also had a William M. Jennings trophy that he shared with Emery, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip. I think this move would be a lot easier to accept. And this is the theme, I think, for this offseason. This move would be a lot easier to accept if there was a clear-cut plan in place.
Yes. Yes, the clear-cut plan of going younger and rebuilding, which is what we've heard.
But then doesn't happen.
But it's contradicting because if you're going younger and you want to rebuild, let's trade away a 23, 24-year-old Dylan Sakura for a 30-year-old Brandon Peary.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that makes sense. Let's trade 27-year-old Brandon Saad for 26-year-old Nikita Zadorov. All right.
So here's my thing with that move. I don't hate that move.
No.
What I hate about it is that what you've mentioned before, when we were talking is our best trade asset that we have. You essentially do a 1-for-1. I mean, it's a 2-for-2, but you have the talented player. Like you have this proven guy who just is coming off of a great season, a great like prove it to me season. And you don't get a fucking pick out of at least a pick or nothing.
The thing that drives me more crazy about this is that not long after this trade, the Islanders traded Devin Taves to the Avalanche for 2 second-rounders. You're telling me that Saad wasn't worth at least 2 second-rounders? Or I don't know if like our scouting team thinks Zadorov is like so much better than like a lot of people have just watched. Like I like how he plays the body and is aggressive, and like it's definitely something that we're missing, but I think you're giving up a lot to just kind of fill that kind of hole, you know?
For a guy too that's not even like he's an RFA next year.
Yeah,
you make this trade. This is the type of trade you make for a guy that's locked down for maybe 3 years. That you have like a contract in place type of thing.
Yeah, like this doesn't I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up trading him at the deadline. And like that's what they should have just done with Saad, is just hold on to him and make it a deadline move and get like a fucking first rounder for him.
Now people try to play the devil's advocate saying, "Oh, well, what if he doesn't have a good season?" It doesn't matter if he doesn't have a good season. He's a good playoff player. He is
Yeah.
a guy with experience. He will get you something at the trade deadline.
It doesn't matter if he doesn't have a good season because he's had a good career so far. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Eric Gustafson where, like, he had this unreal one season and then we lost a lot of value on him by holding on to him until the trade deadline because he didn't do nearly as much as he did. Like, that's just because, like, hey, maybe this one season was a fluke. Saad is consistently at least like a 50-point like getter. He scores 20 goals like all the fucking time. Like, you know, he's a good two-way player. He's literally like playoff bound teams are dying for that type of player all the time at the deadline. Why are we making this move before the season fucking starts?
When Bowman has just his history, players like with Gus, players that you should trade right away, he holds on too long. Players that you should hold on to and flip at when down the line in the season, he moves right away. Like, the funniest thing though too, and it's the most real thing. I think Noli sent it. It was like a Reddit comment. He's like, "Don't worry, we'll trade Kubalik for him for Saad in 2 years."
I said that shit.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, I was dying with that because I'm like,
Saad will be back on the team in 2 years for Kubalik.
And I was just in tears laughing because I'm like, it's so fucking true. Like that is his MO.
Like, the other thing that drives me crazy too is like you move Olimata, like, one, to make cap space, but two, so that there's like more opportunities for our younger defensemen to come up and contribute.
Yeah.
So then you move Saad, which I get for cap space, but why would you bring a defenseman back and now take away one of those spots that's literally meant for an opportunity for like the young guys like Ian Mitchell or Lucas Carlson or even fucking Nicholas Baudin? Like, what? I don't get it. Like, and the thing is too, like, right now we have what, $5 million in cap space, and
5.2,
and we still just don't have Strome signed. So you're telling me that like we couldn't hold on to Saad because on like what, Nikita Zadorov is making 3.2, so he's just an extra 2.8 cut off of that. So we'd have like about what, 2.5 million to sign Strome. You're thinking that Strome's not going to sign for like 2.5 million, maybe 3. Like, if anything, we can move something else.
If Strome signs for more than $3 million, then fucking get rid of goddamn Bowman. And like, I threw this question. I want to throw it too because I want people listening to chime in with it too. And you can answer it if you want to, Tanner, or we could just throw it out here. When you're looking at Stan Bowman, how is Rocky Wirtz sitting there and still have confidence that the man that put us in this cap hell in this situation with terrible asset management and throwing out no trade clauses like they're fucking candy and paying people for what they did, not what their potential is? How can you trust that guy to dig himself out of the hole that he created?
I think I've said this. I said this in our group text too. It's like when your team decides to go from building a championship team, being a championship team, and then becoming a rebuilder again. I don't understand. Like, there's usually a change in management at that point because you're going in a different direction, and I don't understand why you have the same person that tried to keep it built up that like didn't really do that great of a job now have him tear it down to rebuild it. I don't know. I was gonna say though, I do think Strome is like still is going to be like a really good player. Having a down season last year is not just on him as much as it was him and DeBrincat that both kind of sorry to say like a bunch of times, but he had just a few less goals, but he had more like less assists, and he's still trying to feed the puck all over the place, you know. And I think it was just DeBrincat was snake bitten, and they were on the same line for a majority of the year.
When I talk about how Strome shouldn't sign more than $3 million, and it would be the reason why is because of the climate of the flat cap and the uncertainty.
Kubalik also only got 3.7.
Exactly, that right there. Kubalik deserved a hell of a lot more, and he did us a huge favor by taking what he took.
And he's still gonna be an RFA when the deal is done. How the fuck is that true?
What?
He's 25 now. I guess he'll be 26 by the end of that deal. That's weird. Okay, well, at least we get to keep Kubalik. I'm just looking at it. I was just like, that doesn't look right.
So he's a late 95 birthday, so that might be why.
Weird.
But I mean, I still think Strome has potential. I still think that he can. Everybody, it was a weird year. Everybody was off, all that kind of stuff. And then you take into account the season gets short and then all the bubble stuff. He showed good signs in the bubble, I thought at least. But when you're in a team that's in a cap situation, flat cap, it's not going up. And if you truly want to be here, you're going to have to. He's going to need to take a prove-it deal.
Yeah, I mean, he can just go to arbitration, then they'll figure it out from there. But
I think I saw it earlier today.
I don't see how he would get more than $3 million.
No, but
with only one season of 50-something points.
I did read earlier that there's no progression in talks with either Strome brothers. I guess both Strome brothers are up right now. So,
well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure something gets done. Or out of nowhere he gets fucking dealt, and what we'll probably get back is like a middling defenseman because why not?
What former Hawk is on the trade block right now that is completely useless as a player now? I mean, that's.
I was gonna say before you said completely useless. I was gonna say Philip Deneau.
God,
he's good.
He's so good. I would love to have him back.
Who else? Oh my god, I feel like I was thinking about Hjalmarsson. Let's get Hjalmarsson back.
I said completely useless.
We have $5 million. Like $5 million, and his deal is $5 million. So we can. Let's.
You take Strome back. We'll just call it. We'll call it a day. We both try this experiment out, taking each other's players.
That's a terrible deal. I think trading Keith for Hjalmarsson would make me happy.
Yeah, but you're trying to go to a team that said if you're over 25, you're gonna get fucking dealt.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, other than those, they signed Subban, which we kind of mentioned, where he's only getting $850,000.
Yeah.
He's got the most NHL experience for our goalie trio right now.
And he's played faced 3 shots as a Hawk or something like that? Like
no shots as a Hawk.
Yeah.
He played a minute, but he has played 66 games. 65 really, because that's including the 1 minute of the Blackhawks.
I really hope that they run with Subban and Delia.
I don't know. I kind of really like the idea of the goaltending competition.
I do too. Here's my big. I really like Lincoln. I think that kid has a lot of potential. What terrifies me is an Anton Forsberg situation. He is a young goalie that has potential gets put into the situation without a safety net around him. And Forsberg's career essentially got derailed after that stint when Crawford got hurt. What was it, 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I can't.
2? Oh, man.
It might have been 2.
I remember.
But it's
was it 2016?
No, 2017? 2017.
No, because it was fuck. It was 2017 because we were in first place when Crawford went down.
Let's see.
Holy shit. Time's flying. But either way, I was going to say it is exactly like that, though. We're basically playing
2017.
Yeah, we're basically playing like that season. Like, let's just say Crawford's hurt, and now we have 3 backups that are trying to fight for the spot. And what at the time we had, it was Anton Forsberg, like Kent Simpson had some games, and like JF Berube, and
Tanner Glass.
oh yeah, Jesus. And it's just like, can we get a save? Can we buy a save? It was just like a shit show.
Like, you're also telling me, though, like, there wasn't a single veteran goalie on the market that you could bring in to be a mentor type guy.
Kind of like how Turco was for Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Huh.
Craig Anderson is still sitting there.
I mean, unless like Subban is like absolutely ready and like he learned some things under Crawford, like I'm completely fine with giving Subban a shot. I think he can surprise some people probably. It's one of those things where like when we first traded for him and I was reading all about like how he's been and all this stuff, and then I saw something about his like advanced stats where the games in which he faced more shots, like he was really peppered, he played much better. And I was just like, oh, great, because guess what? You're going to get shelled so fucking hard. And if he's just like laser focused in when he's getting shelled, it's like, okay, maybe we found like a cheat code here. And like, I'm just keeping fingers crossed for that because that'd be sick as fuck.
I'm trying to look at it here. Players, goalies. Craig Anderson, Jimmy Howard, Mike Condon, Ryan Miller.
Ryan Miller's still playing?
Yeah.
Bring him in.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's eventually if somebody's going to come in. I would hope so that if it gets bad, like unless they are sure cut going for Tank City, which I'm surprised it's taking this long to talk about this. When the news came out with the Saad trade and the Crawford news, it's bad enough that Taze is talking to The Athletic.
Yeah.
About how the core was blindsided, that they were not told any of these plans that were going to happen. And essentially it sounds like, I mean, they're saying that they're not going to waive their no trade clauses. So it's going to come down to how miserable can Bowman make Kane, Taves, Keith, and Steves? Or is Rocky going to wake up and make a move in management?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Because they're not going to let this team just fucking fail. Like, they've still been fighting, like, these past few seasons. And, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I was going to say the other two things that we did was we actually made some signings, which I was surprised. I didn't think we were like going after anybody. If it was like, oh, we're giving the young guys a shot. Hey, let's bring in a 27-year-old two-way forward. Sorry, didn't we just trade one away? Yeah. But we have this hole at left wing that we need a two-way forward for. Oh, okay.
Look what we just got rid of, right?
Yeah. Word. So yeah.
But less skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we signed Matthias Janmark to a 1-year deal, which that's cool, man. I sent in our group chat, which was pretty funny, that I was looking at his stats and it's like 62 games, 21 points, only a -5. But I mean, Dallas was kind of weird this year, but he only had 12 penalty minutes. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, he doesn't take penalties. But then I looked at his playoff stats. He had 26 games and 38 penalty minutes. And I was like, what the fuck did he do in the playoffs that he's in the box so goddamn much?
But, bubble life, man.
Yeah. Always driving him crazy.
Freaking out. So you got to hit somebody and you fucking did it wrong.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. And like, Lucas Wallmark is the other guy, which they signed for very cheap.
Yeah.
And like, when I was looking at online, a lot of people were like, wow, what a great signing. Like, it's not like sarcastic or anything. They're just like, fucking people love Lucas Wallmark that were in Carolina. They think he's an awesome fucking little guy, but he just kind of got squeezed out by like some of their other dudes. So that's why he was traded at the deadline to Florida. And then fucking Florida, just being Florida, didn't qualify him. So,
Well, I was talking to Rossi, friend of the show, Matt Ross, who covers the Florida Panthers for HockeyBuzz.com about him. And he said that he really, because he was a deadline acquisition, he didn't really get a good look at him because obviously the season got paused and all that kind of stuff. And he
played he played 7 games for the Panthers.
Yeah, so he's like he heard good things about him. He would have liked to get a better, because I asked him like, "What's the scouting report? What can I talk about?" kind of thing, and he's just like, "I got nothing because it was such a small sample size." But I mean,
Carolina fans online were saying he's just like he gives it his 200% every time he's on the ice, and I mean if maybe he's somebody more like an energy player, like cool, like that feels where Kajula was, like that'd be fucking nice. I don't know. I'm excited. Like I can't wait to see what they have to bring, because like these are just kind of, they're not big name pieces. They're like complimentary, and like you don't really notice them when you're playing, like watching games at times. But I'm excited to see what they bring to like this team. This team is kind of weird right now. Because it's the older core, it's the younger new core, and then kind of like a middle group of like complementary players like in between, which is really weird. Like Matthias Janmark, Ryan Carpenter, David Camp, Lucas Wallmark, like those guys are all like 25 to like 30.
Zach Smith is in there.
Yeah, Zach Smith is 32, and he has a no trade clause.
Like, are you fucking?
Well, that was Ottawa, but that's funny. But yeah, then
all right, you're off that hook on that time, Bowman. God damn it. God, but it's like, all right, our depth. I feel like our depth got not amazing, but I mean, I think our depth at forward improved a little bit. I think our bottom 6 will be better. I think there's a little bit more stability going through with that. Our defense, I still think, is a big question mark. Like, you don't really know what we're getting yet, because you have Keith, who's an aging Keith. You got Siebes, who knows if he's even going to play again.
Yeah.
You have
Dahan, if he's going to be healthy.
Yeah, and then you have the young guys. Like, are they truly ready to step up and play big NHL minutes?
Well, if Dahan's healthy, you get Dahan, Connor Murphy, and Nikita Zadorov, who are pretty defensive-minded guys, which is great. Like, that's one of the things that kind of sucked, was when Dahan was hurt for so long last year. Like, we didn't really have any other defensive-type defenseman to, like, fill in that spot. And, I mean, Boqvist is now, like, another year. Like, hopefully he's playing a little bit better. He gets more time on the power play. That'd be fucking great. I don't know. Ian Mitchell is going to be...
do you think we see him this year?
I think so. I think, yeah. I hope so, really. That's kind of fingers crossed. I think the biggest question mark for me is just who's going to be in net, and is it going to be consistent?
That's the whole thing. Like, this, for the first time in a couple of years, it's like, we question if Crow was healthy, if he was back in his like mindset and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, no matter where his head was at, like health wise, and any rumored off ice shit, when he was in net, I mean, Crow was Crow. He stood on his head. He took care of it. Now we don't have that, and we don't have that with the defense that isn't proven. That, like I said, what we just said, question mark. We don't know what we're going to get out of them, and I think that's where it does help, those depth signings that we did do forward, because they are more defensive minded. So we do have that extra little defensive help from the forwards. But now, is our offense going to be lacking? Like,
I honestly, like, looking at our offense, I'm more confident in our offense than anything else. Just because, I mean, whenever you have Patrick Kane, like, you're going to be confident. Like, you get Taves and Kubalik, and who else wants to fit on that line? They played amazing together last year. You get Kane with, like, Kirby, Doc, and DeBrincat, or, like, somebody else to fill in, maybe Nylander or someone, maybe even Matthias Janmark or Lucas Wallmark like fits in right on that wing. And then the third line probably have Strome and either Nylander and DeBrincat and see if they can fucking actually skate.
I totally fucking forgot about Nylander, and I just got even more angry again.
I mean, I just want Nylander to be more consistent. I say it all the time. Like, I fucking just want him to be more consistent. Like, when he plays really well, you're like, fuck, man. Like, it looks like if he were to do this all the time, it would be like a steal of a trade.
I think he is consistent. I think he's consistently not great. And like because you're talking about like
consistency.
But I know, but like if you look at it, because you're saying like, oh, when he's good, like when he has a good game, it's like, yeah. But it's like I'm trying to think. I'm like, every time we're like, oh man, Nylander's feeling it. It feels like 5 or 6 games go by, and we hear nothing, and then it's like, oh well, here, boom. So he's consistent. He just needs to 180 it and be really good most of the time. Like,
yeah, well, whatever. Kirby Doc's going to save the team, and that's all I got to say.
I am so excited to see him get back on that ice again. I mean, the improvement that he made from March to August, now having that first season under his belt. Oh, baby, let's go.
Yeah, he's so good. 6 points in 9 playoff games. Not too shabby.
Yeah. So my usuals, Kirby, I'm sorry for picking you in the draft and all that.
I mean, I'm excited for whenever this starts. Oh my God, I just realized this too. We retained $1 million on Brandon Saad in that trade too. What the fuck? Oh, that's so dumb. Whatever.
Well, doesn't Colorado have cap space too?
Oh, I love yeah, they do. I always love that I forget about this every single time until I scroll down in Cap Friendly. And it's the guys that we're getting from Europe.
Oh, yeah.
You see a first line with like Pius Suter, Kubalik, and Taves. He just has like 2 Kubaliks on his line.
I was going to say, though, do you want to put 2 Kubaliks together, or do you want to spread the Kubaliks out?
I don't know. Maybe put one on Kaner's line. I fucking just got so jazzed. I'm so fucking excited.
Kane, Doc, and Kubalik.
You know, I keep freaking out. Fucking going young makes sense. We have a lot of good young pieces that we just need to get them ice time, you know, like give them more responsibility. We have Ian Mitchell coming in. There's the Wyatt Kalynuk kid that like can probably fit right in too. And it's like, oh man, I'm getting all excited.
It's like on paper, it's on paper, like, yeah, this team could be really exciting. The young direction is fucking fantastic. And I'm excited for it. But with the decisions that are made and all that kind of stuff, it's like, I don't know if I can trust.
Yeah, it's a little upsetting.
Yeah. And that's like the frustrating thing about it too. And it's like, who knows how many times you see like an awesome offensive team come together and just bury it and still lose because they got no goaltending or no defense.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we saw in 2017 when Crawford was hurt.
Yeah, you can put up 6 goals, awesome, but when you're losing 7-6 or 8-6 every game, like, yeah, it's not going to be that great.
Hey, man, good thing that there's probably no fans in the stands this year, so might as well have the shit season now.
I don't know. I'm optimistic for the team in the future. I know we have the pieces and all that to be good in the future. Yeah. It sucks though that there's no direction, like the stated direction the team's going, but it doesn't. The moves that are being made don't seem to be following what that direction is, and you're essentially wasting. You're wasting the greatest American hockey player of all time. You're wasting his career. You're wasting a season of him for doing potentially great stuff. You're wasting probably one of the greatest captains in the league, a season of him. Like I can't say anything about Keith and Stevens anymore because I think they're already wasted. But it's frustrating because it's like usually you could say a team that's got Patrick Kane on it, you can't count them out. And I'm really struggling to find a way to count them in, right, with the team that is presented right now because of the goalie situation.
We're gonna have to find out, man. That's the exciting part. Like, everybody's shitting on the Hawks for the moves that they made, and like rightfully so, but I mean, anything can happen once the season starts.
Right.
Any team can fucking explode. Everybody was shitting on Columbus last year for making no moves and not being able to sign their players, and they made it to the fucking playoffs. And they did well in the playoffs. Not like super well against Tampa, but Tampa was a machine.
Yeah.
But like people can be surprised, and I think that the Hawks can do some surprising. So yeah. Do you think Bowman and Carlton, do you think that they have a leash, like a short leash? Do you think they have, or do you think that it's still go do what you got to do? Like, do you think like there's been discussion I wish I had any clue. It doesn't even seem like like Bowman and Rocky Wirtz are like even in the same hotel acknowledging each other. Like, they're just like, Bowman's just doing whatever, and it doesn't ever seem like any news comes out about anything.
He supposedly has a new 3-year contract too.
Yeah, sure, it makes sense.
It kicked in this year.
Well, the other thing that they were saying too that we forgot to mention was John McDonough was always the one that never let Bowman pull the string on starting a rebuild. And since John McDonough's gone, they were saying Danny Wirtz gave him the green light to do it. And
are you really so that there is another thing that kind of are you really letting the guy who's in charge of finding the new team president make big decisions, essentially organization altering decisions like that?
Well, don't you think that if they wanted to find a new team president, they probably could have done that by now? That's
what I was going to say too. Why are they just having Danny Wirtz do it? Has that been discussed about? I don't think I've heard anything since McDonough's fired. Wirtz is the temporary team president, and that was it. I don't think I've heard anything else about that at this point.
Yeah, I haven't heard any news about it.
It's just weird. It's just really weird how hush-hush the management part of it, I feel like you hear more stuff about other teams' GMs. You hear about organizational moves like that for other teams, but
rumors that somebody's on the chopping block.
Right. You think we would something like that would be talked about with the Hawks, but I don't know. And it's just, I will have to admit though too, it's been oddly satisfying reading all the Bowman hate, because for 5 years I've been pushing Bowman's got to go, Bowman's the problem, and now everybody's calling for it. Hop on my bandwagon, baby. Let's go. You can. Yeah. Everybody's welcome.
It's been talked about for a lot longer, I think.
I got to a point where you guys got annoyed with me complaining about Bowman, and I always would have to stop myself from bitching about it.
I'm not annoyed about complaining about Bowman. It's just I get annoyed about complaining. So I think
justifiable though. Justifiable.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on the Hawks?
No, I feel like there's something that should be talked about, and it's not hitting me.
Well, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some news on Strome in the upcoming future, whether or not he's going to still be on the team or not.
Probably as soon as we hit stop recording, we'll get a Strome update and all that kind of stuff. And
so you heard it here first. Strome was traded for Connor McDavid. Let's go.
Connor McDavid and Edmonton's first round for Strome and Nylander. Boom.
Yeah. Well, all right.
NHL 21 tomorrow. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. Do that shit.
Yeah, so let us know if you made it this far, let us know what, if you're a Hawks fan, what is your like mindset going into? Are you optimistic? Are you just thinking that this is the end for Taves Kane era? Like where's your mindset at? And I'm very curious to get like a pulse on what fans are saying, because it's like everything I'm reading like comment wise through social media, it's either the extreme like old school fans versus the 2010 fans, and it's just no common hockey sense being discussed at all when it comes to all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Are people feeling cautiously optimistic like I am a little bit? I guess I'm just like always trying to look at the bright side.
Yeah.
Or are you like super pissed, like fucking hate everything, like this team, you don't want to follow them anymore? I don't know.
Never gonna be there.
I'm
in your camp. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I feel like I've been been hurt before, so I'm preparing for that.
I think with the seasons that we've seen recently, I mean, I hope it gets better. Like, I'd be nice and surprised if it was, but if it's bad, I'm not surprised. Like, yeah, I thought they would probably be bad, but they're not.
One more just absolutely ridiculous question I'm going to ask you, and we'll end it on that.
Okay.
What gets moved first, Taser Kane or Stan Bowman?
Bowman. I don't think.
Let's hope so.
I think the fucking United Center would burn down. Oh, you know what? I just thought of it. That we missed. The Blackhawks statue was defaced.
I didn't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
It will come off bad, I think. So
back to the old racist logo stuff, but
it's just, out of all the teams that are doing it, like that have that situation, I feel the Hawks are handling it the best with what they're trying to do to use their logo, their team, their spotlight to bring awareness and help out those who, I wouldn't say affect, but like, you know, those that are in the Native Americans and all that kind of stuff. Like, and I think that people that are pissed off about it are either the woke people that it doesn't affect, or B, are not the people that are paying attention to actually see what the Hawks had to say about what they're doing, what their message is going forward and all that. And that's all I'm saying with it. I'm not touching more of it.
Yeah. So I think we're all good here.
All right. So it's episode 112. Welcome to hell.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. So for Tanner and Jarom, we'll check you out on the next one.
All right. Love you, boys.